Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to this GROW, the GIST-Statistical Literacy series of webinars. This is the first webinar that we are organizing, and I'm very happy to see many of you here. The GIST is the Global Network of Institutions for Statistical Training, and we are focusing on a lot of different elements that link to coordination of training. But we also have a task team that focuses on statistical literacy, which is co-led by Bianca Walsh, who is also going to be our presenter for the webinar today. Bianca Walsh is a technical assistant of the director and teacher in the National School of Statistical Sciences in IBGE, the Statistics Office of Brazil. So over to you, Bianca, for today's presentation.
My warm greetings to everyone. Good mornings, afternoons, and evenings. I don't know if there is someone from Asia. Yes, I'm speaking from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. As Vivek said, I'm co-leading the statistical literacy task team of GIST. I'll talk a little about GIST for those who don't know, together with my colleague, Mr. Pedro Campos from the National Statistical Office of Portugal. So let me share some of the web pages of interest here today before I talk about the inventory itself. Let me show a little about GIST. Please, Vivek, can you tell me if you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
Yes, okay. So GIST is this network, global network of institutions for statistical training. You can see the web page here. It reunites people from all over the world, majorly from national statistical offices, but there are also, you can see and check here in the membership section, international agencies, regional agencies, and training institutes, such as the World Bank, FAO, African Development Bank, and national statistical offices of all those countries. We have 3 task teams, actually now 4, but since 2018, more or less, we have 3 task teams. You can read more about this here in resources, task teams. Now we have a 4th task team on languages and translation, because this is a challenge to have access to the products we produce at GIST. We receive this complaints that we don't have in all languages available, especially in Spanish and English, yes, majorly, but other languages. So now there is this 4th task team or a group to work with translation. But the 3 main task teams, one is about online gateway and e-learning community of practice. So it's about e-learning. The other one is a statistical literacy, and this is the group I am a member of and co-leading. I've been working as an active member since 2019 in the statistical literacy group. And there is this 3rd one, which is about NSO demands for capacity building. So GIST is majorly about building a sustainable capacity building in statistics. And of course, statistical literacy is one of its priorities. Okay, now let me talk about the resources in general. We have a courses inventory. Well, let me show you another thing here. We have the UN SDG Learn portal, which might be of interest for you, because there you can find courses majorly on the Sustainable Development Goals from several institutes, international, regional agencies, national statistical offices, but you can also find micro-learning, and that include documents, videos, a lot of materials to be consulted, and other kinds of resources. So this is something that might be useful and interesting for everybody here. And more about highlighting what we're talking about today, the inventory of statistical literacy initiatives. Let me just go back to the home page here, the landing page. So this is the address. You just have to add statistical literacy after the main page, yes. And we have 24 initiatives already enlisted in this inventory. The idea, and I will, I'm here also to invite you to contribute with your own initiatives and the initiatives you know of statistical literacy, because the idea is to make it grow more and more, because the purpose of the inventory is exactly to promote this network environment so that people who are thinking of starting statistical literacy initiatives or people who are doing them already but would like to strengthen their initiatives. So an inventory is especially created to share good practices, because here you will see the challenges the initiatives have, not only the outcomes and benefits. So I guess people could identify with the challenges, for example, and see the solutions or different solutions to for similar challenges, for example, of their own reality. Okay. So this is the purpose. If we reunite more and more initiatives, the more we'll have an environment, an atmosphere to promote statistical literacy worldwide. Let me just go through some of the resources on this page. So I said we have 24 initiatives already from Asia, from Latin America, from Europe. We don't have any from Africa, for example. So this is more initiatives from Africa would be more than welcome to compose the inventory. And of course, increase the number of initiatives in all the regions. But as you can see here on the left, you can search for initiatives with specific filters. For example, you can select the organization you're interested in. So you have the Brazilian Institute, which is my institute, my National Statistical Office from Brazil. You have the Bulgarian National Institute. You also have the Portuguese NSO, but you also have academia and also other regional and international agencies represented here. You can also filter your search by target audience. We have here a big variety. You see initiatives for analysts, for business people, for government, media, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, public in general. When we say public, it's about, I mean, open, general society, school public, university public, and this includes not only students, but also teachers, and in the case of university, researchers, young people in social, economic, and environmental vulnerability. So we have a wide spectrum of audiences here represented. You can also filter by product. And again, a huge variety of products, booklets, documents, e-learning courses, face-to-face courses, games, activities, instructional material, many products here, posters, videos, websites. And here, at last, we can filter by language. As you can see, we have a curious variety of languages here. You have Portuguese, Bulgarian, Croatian, etc., English. But it's just for you to know that those languages depend on the owners of the initiatives. So, for example, Bulgarian, because there is an initiative from Bulgaria, not always they are translated. In this case, there is a translation to English, so languages is still a challenge here. Usually we have translation to English, but not to all materials. So that's one of the challenges we're facing in the fourth task team group, okay? Good. I'm going to pick 3 examples just to go deep into those examples, a little deeper into those examples, to show you what kinds of initiatives can be part of the inventory, okay? It's difficult to select because all of them here are very good initiatives, but I thought of choosing one from each region. Yes, so I chose one from Asia, another one from Europe, and another one from Latin America. IBG has a lot of initiatives here, but I didn't choose IBG because it's my National Statistical Office. So I chose a different one from Latin America. And from Asia, let me just select this. I selected one initiative from India, the National Statistical Office of India. So as you can see, all initiatives come on the front page with those 2 kinds of information. The purpose of the initiative, and you have a brief description of the purpose, and the target audience. So we assume that this is the key information for those who are just taking a look at the inventory to decide if they want to read more about. And if you want to read more about, there is this part where you click and you can get more information. So you have the title of the initiative. In this case, the initiative from India is about an essay writing competition on statistics. So if you go to the read more section, you can have more information and also include pictures. In this case, I guess it's the picture of the NSO, the Indian NSO. You can have contact information and also website information, and you can click there to obtain more information. So in this case, it's about a writing competition they promote with postgraduate students in India about statistics. They write an essay on a 5,000 words essay for 3 hours. And then there is a selection and they get prizes, including financial money, prizes for the best writing pieces, What is curious about this initiative is that, of course, it promotes the statistical literacy among universities and college students, but it also narrates as one benefit the fact that more people try the career of statistics in India. Some of these students who participated in the competition, they get interested in following the career of official statistics and the official statistical system. Another benefit they narrate is that students from the universities, they get to know more about official statistics. So it's a very interesting initiative. As a challenge, they highlight the fact that the competition does not attract many students because they are interested in careers or subjects related to careers of private sector industries, such as software development, which are more lucrative. So that's a challenge they have. You could also find attachments. In this case, sorry for the noise. In this case, it's not working, but usually attachments are about are more photographs or documents that help understand the initiative better. Okay, so this is one case from Asia. The other case is from Bulgaria. Find it here, select organization, Bulgarian National Statistical Institute. So again, you have the purpose of the initiative and the target audiences. In this case, it's about, the name of the initiative is Statistics for Everyone. And it's a web page, a portal that reunites several initiatives of statistical literacy that can be produced for a national statistical office. It's in the Bulgarian language, but you can also have, I was there, I checked the website. You can also have translation into English. Let me go there to show you more. So this is the official icon of the page. If you click on the page, you will see, it's in Bulgarian, I guess. So, but there is an official here. You have it translated into English. So it's called Statistics for Everyone, and you have a lot of resources included. Statistical fields, which explain with short videos statistical concepts in plain language. Statistics for beginners, which is a kind of Wikipedia-based material that also explores the concepts in statistics. Statistics in class, which is a source of lesson plans and material to be used by teachers at schools. Infographics. Infographics are a common resource among national statistical offices, mentioned as a resource for statistical literacy because it brings hard information, data in a more ludic way, in a way that it's easier for people to access. Digital publications, statistical dictionaries, tutorials on statistics and econometrics. It also links to competitions like the European Statistics Competition, the International Statistical Poster Competition, which is an initiative of the International Statistical Literacy Project, linked to the International Statistical Institute. There is an exhibition here, which is a set of PowerPoint pictures talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, but again, in a very graphic language, ludic language, easy to understand, and links to social media. But here is more links to access the information the NSO produces. So there is an investment here on social media. So it's very interesting because this case reunites a lot of small statistical literacy initiatives, and it can be an inspiration for other NSOs who are thinking of promoting statistical literacy in their institutes and don't know how to do this. So here we have good ideas on how to start. One of the challenges they mention, remember that you have this section on the challenges, is that the creation of new educational videos is too time consuming. And that's a common challenge, I guess, for everyone. You need to have a staff turn to making videos. You need to have resources. So although videos are very popular, they're very time consuming and also resource consuming. So this is the initiative from Europe. Let me talk a little more about the initiative I selected from Latin America. This initiative is not connected, as I mentioned, let me just find here, to an NSO, to a National Statistical Office. It's actually an initiative, it's a long description here. It's an initiative that started with a national university in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. And this university actually gathered with other countries and academia representatives from other countries of Latin America. This is an initiative majorly on statistical education, but we can summarize their actions in meetings and publications. So it's more academic initiative, but very important too, because it's a network in Latin America. And if you enter in the read more section, you see they are turned to civil society organizations, the school children and teachers, because it includes it's very turned to the training of teachers for statistics, or mathematic teachers that can use statistics. So school children and teachers is a major public here. University teachers and students and general public, because they are actually promoting statistical literacy in the region. So if you go here in the read more and access the page, let me see if I already have it open. Yes, this is in Spanish. Yeah, there is some material in Portuguese. Spanish and Portuguese are very similar languages, especially in writing. So, well, at least as a Portuguese speaker, I can understand very well, especially the Spanish writing. Yeah, so I guess the opposite is true. The writing is much easier than the listening of the language. But here you can see that it's about statistical education, and you have calls for meetings. There was one in November 2023, and the meetings are Latin American meetings about investigation of statistical education. Oh, sorry. I found this publication. No, I was just showing you, just a second, the membership. Okay, this is one of the publications I found in there. Let me just put the page here. Here you are. This publication was in 2021, was released in 2021. Its tendencies and new challenges about the investigation in statistical education in Latin America. If you go, it's a PDF, you can download that. But if you go, if you open the PDF, you will see, just a second, the scientific committee, but I was interested in the, okay, in the organizing, in the Latin American network, which is exactly the initiative, on the variety of countries we include in this initiative. So you have, for example, people from Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Colombia, Argentina, yes, because it's the original, the source of the project, yeah. So you have a variety of people participating, but you also have people publishing from more countries like Costa Rica, you see. And the themes on this publication are very interesting, because they include, for example, formación de profesores, which is a teacher training to teach statistics, but it's also about innovation in the teaching of probability and statistics. So you have a more academic approach, but you also have, for example, statistical literacy in society and new tendencies, which somehow dialogues with the needs of national statistical offices, for example, technology and multimedia in statistical education in the disciplines, because for example, in Brazil, we don't have a discipline, schools of statistics, but statistics is included in mathematics, but it can also be included in other disciplines. If you think of multidisciplinary, if you have an approach that is multidisciplinary and across the disciplines based on projects or problems, okay? So it's a very interesting publication. It's available for everyone. So that's the case of Argentina, Latin America. So that's it. I could be exploring more initiatives. As I said, as I mentioned, there are 24 initiatives here. I can highlight that the initiative from India is a National Statistical Office initiative. And it's a classic one because we usually see competitions or poster or writing pieces, competitions. When we talk about statistical literacy and the promotion, we also find, for example, competitions of the best journalist articles. I saw one case recently from Mozambique in Africa, which is a Portuguese-speaking country. So you have competition as a very recurrent initiative in statistical literacy. So India presented that. Let me just stop sharing here to see. Okay. We have the case from Bulgaria as a very interesting point of departure for those who are thinking of promoting statistical literacies in their NSOs. And you can see that you can start with small things like short videos or peels on statistics, an approach that is more based on concepts like Wikipedia-based pages or dictionaries, which are more generally turned to the big society. I mean, the general citizen, yeah. So that's a good example for those who are starting and don't know where to start from, yeah. And Argentina, the Argentinian case with this network in Latin America is a good example of how academia also participates in this discussion, and it makes us think that it would be ideal to have national statistical offices partnering with academia to continue developing statistical literacy nationally, right? So these are the examples. I guess we have a time here to discuss, I mean, to hear comments and questions about the inventory, but I would like to reinforce that it's very important if you know about initiatives in your countries, if you're owners of initiatives, that you please write to us. I will ask Vivek and Ala to write their emails. You can write to them to talk about your initiatives, and we are inviting you to include the initiatives to this inventory and make it richer for us to develop this worldwide. Vivek is already there with her email. So that's it, Vivek. I think if I could be talking more about other cases, but I think we had a good view, a panoramic view of the inventory, and it would be more interesting to have people commenting or asking questions about the inventory. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Bianca. And yeah, is there anyone who has any questions or comments that they want to share with us here? Please unmute yourself if you want to come forward with a question.
Before we get more questions and comments, I would just mention, I think it was clear based on the format that to include a new initiative, we follow a template with those sessions like the purpose, the public, to organize information for people to have familiarity in the new searches. So if you are interested in adding a new initiative, you would probably fill in a template with the characteristics of your initiative. Thank you.
Good point. So checking again, are there any questions? Yes, Mitali, please come in. You may have to unmute yourself. Let me see if I can.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. That was a very informative presentation, Bianca. Let me start off the round of questions by asking, do we have any evidence about what kind of statistical literacy projects are effective? Like you mentioned, essay writing, is that an effective way of spreading statistical literacy? I don't know if you can comment, but I'm curious.
Yes, we just have comments on the narratives. We just have materials or how to access this from the narratives. The owners of the initiatives share with us on the section of challenges and on the section of outcomes. So in this case of India, it's very curious how they narrate the positive impacts for this public, yeah. So they feel there is a statistical literacy promotion amongst university teachers, and they report this rise in interest to follow the statistical career, although they highlight as a challenge as well the competing market, which is more lucrative. But there is also this rise in interest because some of the participants tried to enter I don't know if they got to enter the National Statistical Office, I guess, or the National Statistical System. So, so far, I mean, based on the inventory, we just have evidences from the narratives the owners of the initiatives provide. So if you're interested, you can find some information, but with the contact, I guess you could contact those people and see if they have more numbers. But it's a good question, Mitali. Maybe we could encourage people to share more information on the impact of the initiatives and maybe expose this in the inventory as well. It's a good question, but that's it. We can only know about the initiatives based on the narratives they post on the inventory. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this question as well.
There are some comments in the chat. Maybe we could address them.
You want to introduce them?
Yes,
Pedro?
maybe. There is a first comment of Adriana D'Amelio, because she's from Argentina, talking about the initiative that Bianca just mentioned. So maybe, I don't know, Adriana, do you want to take the floor or just give voice to your comment? And maybe you can do it in Spanish if you want.
Yo, Pedro.
Habla español que después te vamos a traducir.
No, bueno, que yo quería comentar de que soy miembro de la Sociedad Argentina de Estadística y en Argentina, bueno, lo primero que se hizo de página web de alfabetización estadística se hizo en Mendoza. Como modelo teníamos ALEA, lo que se hace en Portugal, la página web, y después por los problemas políticos, las páginas cambian de acuerdo al político de turno, pero desde la Sociedad Argentina de Estadística se promueve una jornada de educación estadística los días previos al Coloquio Argentino de Estadística desde el 2013, y en homenaje a Marta Aliaga se le puso ese nombre. porque Marta Aliaga era de Mendoza, de Argentina. Entonces ayudó mucho ella a la alfabetización estadística. Entonces, el año siguiente a su muerte, se hizo un CLAPSE, un coloquio argentino de sociedades estadísticas, no argentino, de sociedades estadísticas, que está la sociedad brasilera, ahora se han reunido de nuevo, se está conformando de nuevo, y ahí se hizo el homenaje a Marta, las primeras jornadas de educación estadística de Argentina, con el nombre de Marta Aliaga. Bueno, eso quería comentar nada más. Liliana Tauber es coordinadora de Argentina, por Argentina, del proyecto de alfabetización estadística y ha trabajado mucho por promover también la alfabetización estadística en el país. Pero las jornadas de educación estadística argentina promovidas desde la Universidad del Litoral se hacen desde hace 5 años. Eso quería comentar.
Gracias.
Gracias,
Adriana.
Bianca.
Do you want to translate, Bianca?
Yes, let me try if I forget anything.
I can help you if you want. Yeah.
Yes, she mentioned that Mendoza was also a very important, it's a state, a region in Argentina, a very important promoter of statistical education there, and they promote meetings since 2013. And there is this researcher, Professor Marta Aliaga, right? Which is a key person in statistical education, and there were meetings after her death, okay, to celebrate her contributions. And they continue the work with statistical associations, also with the Brazilian Statistical Association. And I guess this initiative I talked about is since 2018, I guess, or 19. But there are other initiatives happening since 2013. Is this right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Argentina is a very active
Very
country.
proud.
Yeah, we also have Teresita Teran here. She was the organizer of the last ICOTS, the International Conference on Teaching Statistics in Rosario. She's also here with us. She's attending. Yeah.
Lovely to have you, the owners of the initiative or connected to them, here to comment. Very nice. Teresita, would you like to say something? You appear.
Yeah, you are muted, Teresita. You must. Tienes que el micrófono.
You can find it. Could you unmute her, Rebecca? I don't know if you have this.
Yeah, I'm checking now. Let me see. There. Yeah.
This is a new, Google team. I haven't, so I have to put it, and it was very hard to put it. So I missed the first time of your talk. So I want you to say something before I said, because I don't know what were you talking about.
This webinar was to present the inventory of statistical literacy initiatives we have associated with GIST, which is the globe. Could you please, Vivek, put the links to the websites? And in this inventory, we have initiatives from all over the world. I selected 3 initiatives to show in more details. One was RELI, which is the network that was born in Argentina, and we had this recent comment, this network that promotes academic research on educational statistics. But I also mentioned the case of the Bulgarian National Statistical Office, and also the case of the Indian National Statistical Office with the competition of writing on statistics. But you can see all those cases and more, because we have 24 initiatives in the inventory in the website Vivek is putting here on chat. And I guess this this is being recorded, right, Vivek? You can see this video. I just don't know where do they go to see this video. I don't know if they are going to receive.
We will put it on the GIST web page as well. So if you go to the main web page, we will put it there in the next couple of weeks. But for those of you who have registered for the webinar, I think we can also send an information about that.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
There is also another question.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. No, I was going to say that there is another question in the chat, but please go ahead, Vivek, and maybe you were going to say something.
You have you had in mind the question from young Zulina Binti Zubairi, right? Yeah.
That's right.
So it's a question on whether submissions can be bilingual in English and Malay language. As of now, we're mainly, or it's easier because of the structure of the inventory to put one language. But it may be a possibility moving forward. We're looking into that. So you can send us the submission in both languages, and then we will see how we can make this feasible, adding both languages. So please reach out to us and we'll engage with you so that we can add your initiative. Thank you. And feel free also to come in if you want to comment on this here in the exchange.
There is a comment from Croatian Statistical Office also. Yes, okay. Just a comment highlighting the Croatian Statistical Office initiative in the chat. Okay.
If you want to add that, Vanya, please also just contact us so we can engage with you to add it to the inventory as well.
Yes.
Are there any other questions? Comments? If there aren't, maybe.
Yeah. Since there are no other questions, maybe I could ask Bianca. So my name is Elena Prodan. I'm from UNITAR, and I'm also actually involved in this work currently as a GIST chair, but I was also a task team leader in the past. I was wondering, Bianca, in your view, because you work a lot with innovative methodologies, and I think you always have a lot of great ideas. What is what are really truly engaging and inciting ways, maybe in addition to competitions? I think you talked a lot about competitions for children and youth to really engage with statistics and to have really more to see the value of mathematical and statistical thinking in daily lives, but also by extension in whatever they will be doing professionally.
Well, excellent question. Well, here at IBGE, the Brazilian National NSO, yes, the Brazilian National Statistical Office, we have a National School of Statistical Sciences inside IBGE, which is wonderful because then you have academia and National Statistical Office connected. We have this initiative to enter the schools with projects. And one very recent, and just to give you an example, and then I will mention in general what I believe would be engaging for them. So recently, there was a public school in front of our national school that wanted to conduct a census inside the school. And they called us, and also, of course, we helped them to structure the census, then to analyze data, okay, structure the questionnaire, and then analyze data, et cetera, et cetera. So the kids are low-income kids, and they never heard about such things. They don't even know, for example, we got them to go to the national school to present, for example, the statistics career. And one of the questions was, is this for free? Do I need to pay? And in our case, no, because it's public. And then you have, of course, to run a contest to enter the school. But the level of questions at the same time are very clever. We underestimate those people. They are very clever. They make questions, very interesting questions, but also naive because they don't have access to that. And what we saw in this project and other, this is a big project, but we also received students to participate in activities that have a purpose, like distinguishing what's fake or fact from journalistic articles, etc., based on evidence. So I really believe that kind of hands-on, problem-based, project-based projects are wonderful ways. It's not necessarily technological, but the level of reality those projects bring really leave an impression on these teenagers. It really changes their perspective. It's very emotional to see how they react, how they get involved, and how they talk. For example, in the case of the project with census, they talk about the way they take this information to their families. And then they say, for example, I talked to mom and daddy, and they said they answered to census, for example. So this is, I mean, there are lots of benefits here, not only the statistical literacy, but also you open ways for them to answer to the surveys. We are interested, I mean, to get more informants, not only them, but also their families. So it's difficult to measure the impact you have with this. But the problem is the problem of scaling it up. We can't do this alone. That's why we need to partner with the universities. I mean, where you have teachers who train teachers who go into the schools, with the associations, the statistical national associations, mathematics national associations. But not only, I think, and there is a good case, Pedro Campos could talk about that. I mean, the relation of the National Statistical Office in Portugal and the Ministry of Education, and this is something we would like to do here in Brazil, it's very important. I mean, that the National Statistical Office have a voice in the curriculum planning and guidelines in the country, you see. I mean, to prepare teachers, yeah, to bring statistics as part of the construction of a reasoning based on evidence. Yes. So I talked a lot here, but one of the things that have popped up for me is this. I mean, to work with projects, very real-based projects and problems, for me, is a very effective way to engage youth in statistics. Thank you for the question, Ellen.
Thank you very much. So maybe if there are no more questions, we can move towards closing this webinar. But I before we do so, yeah, I see is that a hand up from you, Saleha?
Yes, yes, yes.
Please come in. Yeah.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to share, introduce myself and share a little bit. I'm from Pakistan. I'm a professor of statistics at Kinnaird College for Women in Lahore. And I'm also Deputy Director of ISLP, the International Statistical Literacy Project. Also, I'm rendering honorary services at PISTAR, which is the Park Institute of Statistical Training and Research. Pedro and Teresita know me well. We've been together in the ICOTS conferences for a very long time. So I want to say that, you know, I'm also very interested in statistical education, and that's why I'm involved in all these things. I want to ask you, it's not exactly connected to your presentation, but I wanted to ask whether PyStar could also become a member of GIST, because if I'm not mistaken, it is the global network of institutes for statistical training. So PyStar is also something of that kind. That's one thing I wanted to ask. And the other thing is that in ISLP, where I'm also now deputy director, I have just now, it's very new, very, very new. I presented the idea that we start a series of annual conferences of we call it the International Day of Statistical Literacy. And we are going to have the first one in May of 2024. So, I mean, it's not happened yet, but I wanted to share that.
Vivek, can you answer this about the membership?
I can come in. I think as a first step, because since you're anyway also part of the ISLP, we work closely between GIST and ISLP. So maybe you can start joining the task team meetings on statistical literacy, and through that then also join GIST as an ISLP representative, and then we can see how the engagement is with your agency specifically. So definitely maybe you can send me an email and I'll add you to the list, or Pedro will also already have your email, of course, and can add you to the statistical literacy task team list. And I think a great update on the statistical literacy day, we should definitely look at working together towards further promotion of materials and input that we have. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I also see, do you want to come in, Molana, since I see your video?
Not for now, but I'm really happy to be here.
Glad to hear. So before we close, maybe Bianca and Pedro, do you want to give a brief update on the plans for the coming webinars so that participants here are aware?
Pedro, can you please?
Yeah. I don't have the list by heart, but I can share maybe the future webinars with the rest of the group. Thank you for attending. So our plan for the future is okay. So Ala, thank you, Ala, for helping me in this point. The second webinar, I'm going to read what Ala just wrote. It's going to be exactly something that makes the bridge between this task team on statistical literacy from GIST and the ISLP, the International Statistical Literacy Project. And there are many things in common. And the third webinar, it's going to be about data visualization. We know nowadays that this is a very important topic that involves not only people from communication, but also statistics, machine learning, data mining. There are many tools, and some of them are even automatic, as you know, with ChatGPT and so on. These generative things that can just make a picture of what you want to show. So I think it's going to be very good. We are going to we invited already people that are working in this field. Just to note that this is maybe the only webinar where we are going to have only one person speaking. That's it happened with Bianca. For the future webinars, we plan to have two presenters and dividing the speech between them. So for this data visualization, we're going to have maybe one from academy and one from a statistical office or something like that. And Teresita is saying that it is very important to make these webinars together between the ISLP and GIST. Of course, we have many things in common. This is a very good idea for all.
Yes. Thank you. Excellent idea to make these webinars, especially for subdeveloping countries as we that have no another opportunity now, because all the things are very bad here. So these webinars, especially free, are very important for us. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Just-
And as Alla also is putting in the chat, GIST is also developing or has a number of newsletters. So if you go to the main page of GIST, you will find the newsletters, and another one is coming very soon. So you can get more updates on what we're doing in general. I also didn't really introduce myself. My name is Vibeke Nielsen. I'm at the UN Statistics Division, and I have the secretariat role for GIST, and Alla is supporting me in the work. So for anything related to GIST, you're in general welcome to reach out to us, and we'll try and support and engage with you as possible.
Yes.
Vivek, just to mention that the title was very creatively made by Pedro and received the name Grow. So let us make it grow. I mean, spread the news of the webinars amongst the people you see in your networks, for us to get more participants and grow this network on statistical literacy. That's it.
Yes, I will do that.
I think that's a perfect closing of this webinar, Bianca. So I think we'll just thank everyone for joining and looking forward to the continuation. And thanks again for sharing on the inventory, Bianca.
Thank you.